Micromanagers are kind of the type of manager that are most talked about. And often micromanagers are wrongly identified because there's kind of different types. There's the controller and there's the micromanager, and they're not the same. Either are difficult to work under, perhaps in different ways. Controlling micromanagers are tough to work under. There are two things at work here. The reasons that they feel they need to control everything, know everything, or know about everything that's going on, and the need to be supervising at a task level your work, and even taking the decisions you should be taking instead of you, right? Taking decisions that are within the scope of your role, they're taking them. That's micromanagement. Yeah, and controlling is a different thing, and I'll explain the difference. So a controlling manager would be kind of somebody who's uncomfortable when you are having a meeting with other people. Yeah, or also this can be seen by having a meeting where your boss requires you to explain all of your potential decisions and then validates them or not. So you have no autonomy in decision making, really. You have to pass everything by your boss. That's a controller, right? They don't like to not know what you're doing. They don't like to not know what decisions you've taken. They want to make sure that all of the decisions are run by them. More than a micromanager, which it is a bit, it's a controller. They kind of never let you do anything by yourself either, like go and meet somebody. That's a typical sign. There are managers who are like so controlling that they feel threatened by initiative in their teams. They don't like teams having ideas or initiative, and usually will try to kill them. Yeah, they don't like their team, their direct reports talking to people without their authorization or without their presence or without kind of having a meeting beforehand. A manager can be controlling without being a micromanager. And often, as I said before, the two can get confused. The controlling manager, as I said, he doesn't like, or she doesn't like initiative. They don't let people just do the work the way that they feel is the best way to do it. They have to control how it's done and know everything, as I said. The controller won't micromanage how you do things, but they just have to feel that there is nothing being done or being said without their knowledge. And they're suspicious. They tend to be more suspicious than micromanagers. They're suspicious if they find out that you've had a meeting with another senior person, for example. Or they might get angry if you've gone and had a meeting with, I don't know, the head of some department, or somebody came and asked for you from the community, stuff like that. That's a controlling manager. The micromanager, on the other hand, actually steps down into your role and invades it, yeah, and kind of almost takes it over. So it's a little bit different from the controller, who doesn't go into your role but wants to control everything you do. The micromanager actually starts executing inside the scope of your role. They drop down a level and go into yours. This is often because they are insecure in their managerial post, at their level of hierarchy, and they feel more comfortable in yours. Yeah, that's often the reason. Yeah, they're out of their comfort zone. So most of the time when they do that, they're like either overcompensating their own insecurities and lack of confidence by doing something that they know better. They fear that, or perhaps they fear that mistakes are going to be made and then they're going to be responsible, or that's the only management style they've ever developed, and that's what they know, or that's their personality, that's their mindset, and they don't even realize they're doing it. But usually it comes from insecurity, yeah, and a fear of things going wrong, and because they're now responsible, yeah. So they're very difficult because you can't grow under a controlling manager and you can't grow under a micromanager. And when you have the two combined, nightmare. Both the controlling manager and the micromanager can indicate that there is a lack of trust towards you from them, but not always. A lot of micromanagement from one person, but not to another, would indicate a lack of trust. So for example, say there's two of you on the team and the manager is only micromanaging you, but not the other person. That means that there's a trust issue. It's not because a micromanager per se will micromanage everybody. That's their style. But if they're only micromanaging some people, that's because they have trust issues with those people. So that's what you have to watch as well. How are they managing other people? Are they doing the exact same thing or is it different? And then you will know if it's trust or style. Sometimes people do it because they think, okay, especially in security management, I don't trust, he hasn't got very much experience. I have a lot of experience, so I'm going to micromanage every security decision he takes, and then that person doesn't grow. When you have a controlling boss, you will know because you believe me, you will know because they will require you to inform them about everything. It will be almost obsessive. Yeah, they will also do kind of a lot of back channeling and gossiping and finding out from other people what other people have said to who. They like that. Yeah, and a micromanager, as I said, will be managing your tasks and taking decisions for you and etc. So what to do with the controlling manager? First of all, you can't change the behavior. Yeah, in most of these people, you won't be able to change their behavior, so you have to adapt. So in the controller, it's coming from some personality trait that they have. Yeah, so and they may not be aware of it, so you have to work with it. If you feel that they're open enough to be able to have a dialogue about it, then you can speak to them about it. But if not, take control of the updating, right? So rather than resenting having to update them continuously, just take that as part of the game and do it before they ask you proactively. Yeah. You can also say to the person, you can agree on how often and how and what and why they wish to be informed. That is, if you see that the person is open. This will force them to think about how they're managing you, and by the fact that you verbalize it, they might realize that to say, I want to be informed about every single thing is embarrassing, so they kind of back off a little bit. But it's good to come prepared with a method and suggestions when you bring up this subject. You know, say, for example, how about we meet at the end of every day and I give you a brief update? Or how about I send you an audio at the end of every day and I give you a brief update? How about we have a longer weekly meeting? Well, okay, so bring a suggestion that you think is kind of less controlling in a way, but keeps them satisfied in their ansia for information. Speak to them about you can't inform them about every single thing that happens in every day. There's a lot of hours in the day and a lot of things that happen in a day. So you have to try to kind of modulate their anxiety for information by proactively providing them with the key information that they seem to be most anxious about. You will know what they're most anxious about by the type of questions they ask you. And always keep a friendly tone, because if they see that you're tense or irritable with their questions, it'll just make it worse, right? So even though it drives you nuts, try to keep the tone friendly and update them proactively as much as you can. That will build trust. Then if you're experiencing their discomfort about you having meetings with certain people, you know, you can tell they're suspicious, they're not happy, then it's better to bring this up. Just say to them, look, I need to meet regularly with that person, this person, this person. Is that okay? What concerns do you have? How do you want to manage that? I have to build a network, I have to build relationships, and ask for the rules of the game without using that word, right? And reiterate, okay, what is my scope here? Please know that I won't be saying anything we haven't already agreed on before with you, and you ask them for the scope and the lines. This again, like in the first strategy, forces them to hear and observe themselves, in this controlling behavior they have. If this doesn't work, those two strategies, you cannot grow and learn under controlling or micromanagement. So it's important to fight for your space. Yeah. First of all, try those strategies which are low confrontational, let's say. Yeah. And if they don't work, you have to keep trying to observe what is driving the person to this behavior. Yeah. Is it again, it goes back to, is it their style, or is it just you, or are they doing it with everybody? But whatever the reason, focusing on building a relationship with them of trust and openness will reduce their need for controlling and micromanagement behavior. Yeah, that's what they need sometimes. They need to feel more secure. They need to feel that you're not going to be doing stuff without their knowledge. So at the beginning, with these types of managers, you will see if you start to be open, responsive, proactively informing them, engaging with them, dialoguing with them, discussing decisions with them, you will see that after a while they'll back off. Yeah, they'll become less of a micromanager, less controlling, because you are in a way giving them the security they need. If all of this fails, you would have to request then, which would be the last step, let's say, a discussion of roles, particularly with the micromanager. Yeah, that includes, okay, an open conversation with your boss. What decisions can I take without consulting you? Because in my role, my understanding is that I can take this, and this level of discussion. Has that changed? If so, why? And how are we going to work? Because, and you have to say, I feel like I don't have the freedom to take any decisions. Yeah. So this should be framed as not as a complaint, but as requesting clarification on your decision-making scope in your role. Yeah, that's different from complaining. It's like as if you're genuinely confused and you're asking your boss to clarify what kind of decisions you can make and what kind of decisions they want to be consulted on. Because when you bring it up, they're forced to kind of consider it. Yeah. By framing it this way and not going, hey, God, I'm sick of you always stepping to my role. No. You say, look, I'd like to clarify some of the things in the role. Can we have a chat about it? It's important because to work under a controlling and or micromanager is very difficult. Yeah, because you will need to learn. And also they end up often slowing down the pace because they have to be informed of everything, which is time consuming. You can't make a decision without them, so that kind of blocks you. So you really need to kind of manage these people. If not, they will just get in everybody's way by slowing down everything, by the intense amount of information about everything they need and about having to pass everything by them on the decision-making level.